planning, or just dreaming of doing an iconic US road trip, then this video is for you, because we recently traveled to Florida all the way from the UK to drive from Miami to Key West, yes, with 2 kids in tow. And in today's video, I'm going to take you with us, giving you all the details of what we got up to, where we stopped, where we stayed, etc. to help you with planning your own trip. Just be prepared that if you're not already planning this road trip, you'll soon want to. So we started our trip flying into Miami, and if you're like us, flying from the UK, I'd highly recommend booking a later flight. So we left the UK at 4 p.m. and landed in Miami at 9 p.m. And I have to admit, I was quite nervous given the fact that when we landed, it would be 2 a.m. back home, but you know what? It just worked. It meant the kids had dinner on the plane and slept a little, and we also didn't need to try and keep them awake once we got checked into our hotel. Anyway, the first few days when we got there, we spent just exploring Miami. We hired bikes, we played some mini golf, spent some time on the beach, did a boat tour and judged some expensive houses. And we also used one of our days in Miami to go to the Everglades to see some alligators, which you have to do, but I've actually covered that in another video, which I'll link below. Then it was time to start our road trip down to Key West. So the journey from Miami to Key West is roughly 165 miles and should take just under 4 hours, so easily doable in one day, even with kids. But don't underestimate how beautiful the drive is. Honestly, I took so many photos because the colour of the water was just stunning. But before we get into the driving itself, let's talk car hire. So we hired our car through 60, and on the morning we were driving down to Key West, we picked up our car from one of their Miami branches in Collins Avenue. The staff were friendly, they were helpful, and when we were there it was so easy, even with needing car seats and the fact that we're from the UK. We actually also chose the flexible option, which meant we didn't even need to pay until we arrived to pick it up. And then we just showed our driving licenses and off we went. Now, because of the sheer amount of luggage that comes with traveling with kids, for 2 weeks we booked a large car to make sure that there was more than enough room for us. And we were lucky enough to get a GMC Yukon Denali, and wow, this car was huge. I mean, it literally felt like there was an aisle between the girls. Yeah, we loved it. And then it was as easy as connecting our phone to the car, and then we just used our maps in the exact same way we would back home. And then it was time for us to hit the road. Now, we wanted to make a bit of headway, so we drove for about an hour before we made our first stop en route, which was at the key lime pie factory. And this was also our first taste of key lime pie since arriving in Florida, and yeah, it did not disappoint.
In heaven.
Is heaven?
Heaven.
Yeah.
Once our bellies were full, we then drove another 15 minutes and came to Betsy the Lobster, outside the entrance to the Rain Barrel village in Isla Morada. It's quirky, but it was really fun to see, and it's a great photo opportunity along the overseas highway. There's also some little shops where you can do some trinket shopping, so it's just a good spot to stretch your legs. A little way down the road is a cute little place we stopped for lunch, Papa Joe's Waterfront. Now the views here were amazing, not quite the motorway services we usually stop at, and the food was good too. We shared a couple of plates of coconut shrimp tacos. Yum. But there's one other stop that I haven't mentioned that we ran out of time to do on the way down to Key West, but we made time to do it on the way back, and that is Bahia Honda State Park. I mean, look at that. I'd have actually loved more time here to explore, as I think you can do some hiking and some snorkeling here too, but we just went onto the beach. The water was so clear. We also saw a real conch shell as well as some hermit crabs too, and we were literally only there about half an hour. So you can imagine that made the kids' day. For us, it was then time to finish our drive and make our way to the island paradise of Key West. So the hotel we stayed in Key West was the Margaritaville Beach House, and before I start talking about the hotel too much, I'm going to start by showing you our room, because the view from this room honestly looks like it's taken straight from a magazine. So we had a king suite, and as we were actually in Florida celebrating our 10-year wedding anniversary, we were kindly upgraded to an ocean view room, and I mean, this is the view from our room. The room is also nice and big, and it was actually split in two, which was great for us, having the kids as well. So you could separate each room with a door, and there was the sofa bed rolled out for the kids to sleep on. Anyway, we loved this hotel. The facilities were good, and we just loved the vibe. And this is the pool area, which was also good. We spent some time here on one of the afternoons, and they had these little hammocks everywhere. I would definitely recommend staying here if you come into Key West. And then we spent the next couple of days exploring Key West. Now, I'd have loved to spend longer in Key West, but after a couple of days, it was then time for us to head back up north to Fort Lauderdale because we were finishing off our holiday on a 4-night cruise before we headed back to the UK. And there you go. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button and make sure you subscribe for more.